Shalom. In this week's Sedra is Sedra Vayikra. In order to bring out a great lesson from this week's Sedra, I'd like to tell you the story of Mark and his fundraising journal. Mark had been working on the fundraising dinner and journal for months. All of his free time, energy, and resources had been dedicated to ensuring its success. Mark had gone to yeshiva near the Kotel for only 2 years, but those 2 years had been enough to change his life. During that time, he had formed connections to his rabbis, studied a great deal of Torah, and re-examined his values and priorities. His work on this dinner and journal had been his way of giving back. As he sat at the Kotel taking a small break from the work he still had left, he took out a chumash and began reading this week's Sedra. Mark read about the different offerings, and while he previously thought all offerings were of animals, he read of the meal offering. Mark read that what God wrote about the meal offering. If a person brings a meal offering to the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour. He shall pour oil over it and place incense upon it. Mark read Rashi's comments about the unique words used in this verse. In his commentary on this verse, Rashi wrote that the pasuk stated, "If a person brings a meal offering to the Lord," but the pasuk didn't say a person. Rather, it stated, God wrote the words, "and if a soul brings a nefesh." Rashi pointed out that regarding all the sacrifices which were donated voluntarily, the only instance where the word used was nefesh, soul, is in the case of the meal offering. Now, who usually donates a meal offering? A poor man, because flour was less expensive than birds or animals. If it was as if God had said, "I count the poor man's offerings as if he had sacrificed his very soul." Rashi's words resonated with Mark. He understood what it meant to give voluntarily and what it took from a person. Mark also recalled Rashi's comments from the previous chapter, where Rashi wrote, "Whether in the case of a large animal or a small bird, the offering is pleasing to God." This teaches us that whether or not one offers much or little, it is equally pleasing to God, provided that the worshipper directs his heart to God, meaning that he is giving his offering in order to strengthen his relationship with God. Mark understood that helping out a yeshiva isn't about how much one gives, but why one gives. As odd as that might sound coming from someone who's trying to raise significant funds, Mark knew that perfection didn't come from an amount of zeros at the end of a check, but rather from the thought process when deciding to give that check. As long as one wanted to develop a relationship with Hashem and wanted to perfect themselves, they were faithfully helping the community. Mark left the Kotel invigorated and recited the prayer usually reserved for the Chazan to say on Shabbat morning in Musaf. May He who blessed our fathers Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov bless this sacred congregation, together with all congregations. And for those who faithfully occupy themselves with the needs of the community, may God give them their reward. Shabbat Shalom.